Rolling.
Rolling?
Yep. Limp Bizkit.
And that one's recording?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good. Publicly saying sorry to everyone for last week's episode.
Yes, it was a schmozzle on one.
Basically, yeah, we just had a bit of a... I think... I'd say... Oh, yeah, is that couch breaking?
It's like the old
I'd
couch.
say it's a mixture of, just rushing in traffic in the morning, getting in, fixing everything up.
Yeah.
And then just forgetting.
Like we produce a lot of this on our own, so we think we try and perfect every sort of aspect.
100%.
And we get so focused on the actual content, we assume that the technical side for us is a bit more innate.
It's
we're
funny
susceptible
because
to mistakes.
no matter how good you are at what you do as a creativity, mainly in the art scene,
Yeah.
there's always something that gets in the way, and it just causes this delay and stress. And because when you're in the creative scene, you're a perfectionist. No matter how good or bad you think your work is, you're a perfectionist.
Oh man, I hate it. And I get really angry when I make mistakes like that because I don't know, I just hated it. It really cooked me and I was really upset. So apologies to anyone that
100%.
had to struggle through that episode.
The audio was definitely stressful. I think for me, because I'm sitting here confidently saying things,
Yeah.
even holding my mic like this,
Yeah.
it was so much fun. I look, don't get me wrong. I'm glad it happened on a podcast, but it's happened on weddings and stuff like that where audio doesn't work, and you just have to, you have to wing it.
I think it's just a part of running anything with a video and audio setup. It's a bit of
What did your wife
challenge.
tell you last episode? Remember?
What did she say? I can't
She
remember.
said, "Don't sit back. Don't."
She's like, don't slouch, you look fat. No, she didn't say that. She didn't say I look fat. She's just like, don't slouch, you look lazy.
I always look at our episodes and I'm looking at my posture. So I'm looking at the camera now. I'm like, yeah.
We're on a couch, it's hard.
Can you see yourself?
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
I look like a very small man. That's probably true, actually. Oh man, all my friends that tease me about that is gonna jump on that now.
Look, big week. So this is the last week for me in Australia. Then I'm off to not forever. Made it sound like I was departing for life. No, I'm off next week to Qatar.
Yes,
I'm
amazing.
leaving. I'll be in Qatar this time next week. How insane is that?
That is incredible. Man, what an experience it's going to be. Just going to a World Cup is one thing, but being pitch side and being with the squad is going to be insane.
Actually, you know what? I'm actually sad you and I haven't gone to a World Cup together.
No, there's still plenty of time.
I know we did Japan.
Yeah, but USA is coming.
We definitely have to do USA. We're going to have 4 little attack, hopefully. So I'm not pressuring you to have another one by then.
No.
But I'll have 2 girls by one's coming soon. But we definitely have to go to a World Cup together.
Oh yeah, it's got to be on the cards. I feel like that's every
Should we do
football
the
fan.
Euros?
We could. It's sooner.
When is it? 2024?
Yeah.
And 2026 the World Cup.
We could actually.
Let's be good husbands for the next 2-3 years.
And then ghost for
You know what
for
the
a
thing
month.
is though? Your wife will definitely go to the Euros because she loves football.
Yeah, she would.
My wife is sort of on the cusp. My wife, again, the shout out to all the people that anyone listening to this episode. Your partners, whether it's a male or female, that doesn't really matter. But if you have a partner that doesn't really watch football, and they try their best to be your friend in trying to communicate. So my wife watches City games, and she always messages me, and shout out to Andrew Naboot, but she always goes, why is he always angry? Why does he always throw the ball? Why does he always get cards? Why is he... And I'm like, I love the fact that my wife gets involved.
I was laughing. So we had Gary's birthday here on Saturday and at Panenka, and we had a bit of a kick on the pitch, and I think it's been a long time since my wife's had a kick of a ball, and it's been over a year. So she's I think she had a bit of but she got a bit excited and she got a bit carried away. The shoes came off, and he got pretty physical pretty quickly, and it was actually it was good to see. And then we were sitting there. She was watching Netflix over the weekend, and I was sitting there watching Prem highlights on my phone, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this goal that Tielemans scored. And I'm showing her, and she's like, that's like what I did at Panenka, at Ultra. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go.
That's cute. I like that. Look, like I said, my wife gets into the football. She loves it. It's she watches games even though she doesn't understand what's going on. So for me, I always get that excitement and being like, yeah, she wants to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And I know you're lucky in the sense that you've got a partner that lives football. So me explaining to my wife how important the World Cup is, she understands it, but she doesn't get it. I think the World Cup is by far the mecca of any sport. I think the holy grail of any final. I know people compare it and be like, oh, but it's not as big as the
Super Bowl. Or whatever.
But I'm like, how many people actually give a crap about the Super Bowl?
In countries
Apart
that...
from Danny.
Yeah, apart from Danny. But I think when you're looking at it from a global scale, yes, a lot of people and a lot of eyes end up on the Super Bowl. Of course, commercially driven, it's massive.
100.
I think you're not going to get a random lady in a Mexican cantina watching the Super Bowl. Oh, actually, probably bad choice of country because they're probably a little bit close proximity to actually care. But say in the middle of Spain, that's 75, she's going to turn on the TV and watch it. That that's the crowd that you don't draw to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl draws everyone that's sort of like young to, like football or NFL fans, and it doesn't extend much further than that. I think the World Cup is a bit more appealing to the general person, so
100%.
It's massive. It's gonna be so good. I think it is definitely a bucket list for any football fan. And to be honest, if you're lucky enough to be in a host country, I think it's just on a bucket list for
Just
anyone.
realised we've got the World Cup in Australia next year.
Yeah, Women's World Cup. Yeah, it's gonna be
definitely.
huge.
We did make an episode about that, but we'll definitely have to do something closer to the. I think we'll set ourselves a goal and try and go to a few games together. I know tickets have sold out, but we'll try and get media a sort of way in to get some. We'll definitely film some docos.
Yeah, I think I've got tickets to the first Matildas game, or the one that's in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then after that,
I reckon we try and highlight some of the other teams that don't get really much attention from the media.
100%. Well, hey, there's got to be like Alexia Putellas, like she's a Ballon d'Or winning female athlete.
Yeah.
Like she'd have to get the Spanish squad. I think I mentioned in that last episode or 2 episodes back.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many ballers in that squad where I think they're going to come here and they're going to probably enjoy it a bit because they're not going to get the attention that they deserve. But
it's the fastest selling World Cup for the Women's World Cup,
and it's only going to get better.
It's gonna get. It's gonna be sold out. I know some of the small teams. I'm like when we hosted the Asia Cup down in Australia, some of the games I went to and shot, like I think it was like Saudi Arabia and stuff. They didn't really have a crowd, but it was good to see that sort of culture and identity from each country. So it's gonna be amazing. Like imagine you and I go to a game and just pick a random like team that's playing in Melbourne. I think it's like 6 or 7 games. We go there and don their kit. And just chant that, like, just be like, hey. I would love that. You know what? I'm excited for that.
How do you? Okay, this is and I'm really going to be cautious with how I approach this question because I don't want it to come across like racist or anything like that. But when it's your nationality, and you see another nationality, a person of another race wearing that kit in public, do you find that weird?
We spoke about this last episode. I remember this is when that guy, Salmon, got upset at me, remember?
But that was club. I think club's very different.
No, but it was also nationality. In a sense that I made the comment where I'm like, I feel awkward wearing an Italian jersey.
Yeah.
But then people were like, yeah, but you wear like a German kit or you wear...
Problems,
and I'm like, I kind of thought about this because I always felt awkward. I don't know why, but I feel awkward mainly wearing Italian jerseys and Mexican jerseys because I feel like they're the most passionate supporters for their country.
See, I have no problem with Mexico. My thing would be that it's because there's so many of that nationality in Australia.
Italians?
Yes, heaps of
Because people would assume, are you Italian? It's like, no, I just love... Like, people always assume I'm Italian when I went into Milan. People always say to me, why do you like Inter Milan? Like, why are you wearing blue and black? Yeah. I'm like, the Nerazzurri. I'm like, I love Inter.
Have you tried to find the Skopje shirt in Australia?
But, like, I have this, like, connection to Inter, and they're like, yeah, but you're not Italian. So I feel like wearing an Italian jersey in Azzurri, I feel people will be like...
Oh, you must be.
You must be Italian. It's like, why? But if I wore a German kit or something, people don't care.
Yeah, but it's amazing how...
Or an England shirt.
And I don't know statistically how true this is, but how little Germans are, not little as in small in height, but little as in like there's... I don't think the German community is anywhere near as big as what like the Greek, the Italian in Australia. They're probably still there. There'd be a lot of them. But
there's a lot, but it's sort of like migrated in the sense that like the culture-wise in Australia has changed. Like for example, there's a lot of cities and suburbs and countrysides now. Like in Adelaide, and please correct me if I'm wrong, not Barossa Valley, but there's a region where its majority was German migrants. So the whole town has got this German architecture and everything.
Yeah, cool.
We stayed there when I went there for a festival, and like it's just fully German aspect. But then look at half the cities in Melbourne, like Coburg and Heidelberg. Yeah. They're all German names. So a lot of people that moved over to Australia from German heritage, they ceded their namesakes.
Yeah.
Another country I actually feel awkward wearing is Nigeria. Like I love the jerseys, I love the culture, and I've got a few friends of Nigerian background. I know in Australia, more so, we've got like Sudanese, Ethiopians in the African community, but like Nigerians, sort of really like you don't really know many from Nigeria or Ghana.
That's interesting because from a kit sense, Nigeria's shirt has been like
sold out,
iconic,
Nike,
and everyone was buying them, regardless of what race they were.
But I always feel awkward being like, oh yeah, here we go, the whitest boy alive wearing the Nigeria shirt. You get me?
But I feel like that it's just like it's that whole here we go. It's like this guy, no matter what country or club it is, right? They're just like this guy must be this person. Like it's just an assumption straight away. And because you connect the country to the shirt, obviously it is that country's shirt, but it gets a bit funny. I don't know. But like socially, it's a bit awkward.
Look, I think for me, for for whatever sake it is, I'll wear a jersey and be proud of it. I love collecting shirts for that reason. I think it's just like, it doesn't really matter if you connect to that country or thing, you just wear it.
Yeah.
I don't really have many Brazil shirts, but I recently purchased that from the market.
Yeah.
And I think Brazil shirts for me are too plain, like green and gold. Like I know Socceroos, but I feel a bit more connected to Socceroos.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I can't remember where the topic started. Oh yeah, the Asia Cup. So yeah, like definitely, this is what I was going to show you. So when the Asia Cup was here, I'm going to search it up. So Asia Cup, there was one nationality that that played in Australia, and I remember a friend of mine literally went up to the fans and basically donned their shirt. But this country has a bit of a how can I say this? Conflict of interest. Now, 2015, yeah, here we go. 2015 Asia Cup in Australia. Yep, there was that. So North Korea was in the Asia Cup. So in their group, they had China, Uzbekistan, and Saudi Arabia. Now, by the stats of it, they lost 1-0 to Uzbekistan, 4-1 to Saudi, and then lost to China 2-1. So my friend had dressed up, and basically it was just this one guy and all these North Korean sort of family, like friends of family.
Wait. So he just dressed up as a supporter?
Yeah.
Like I was getting the idea that he dressed up as like King Jong-un or someone.
No, so he dressed up, and then the news went viral for him, where it was like, oh, there's a guy who's like, so with the North Koreans, but they were like up in the top of the AB Park.
Yeah.
And I will never forget, like they were having the most fun of their life. And I remember it was against Saudi Arabia because they were like playing. It was at Amy Park, Saudi Arabia versus North Korea. I remember that game 4-1. And like just being there, the Saudis was just so passionate. Yeah. The drums, the sort of the Middle Eastern connection to them, it was so perfect. But seeing the North Korean fans up there, and like they was just doing their own thing. It was a police guard as well, so weird.
That is weird.
And I don't know if Kim Jong Un or his father,
either or,
yeah. But like that was just such a like situation for Australia where it's like this is so bad, but it's also so good to see them connected.
You know what? There's one thing I like about international tournaments, and it's that there's a weird connection between all the fans, right? Like so on a club level, I think I say weird. Weird's probably not the right choice of word, but there's like a nice approach to the fans. Like you get so used to seeing ultras and hooligans and this whole fucking negative like stigma to football fans.
Yeah.
And then you get to the international stage and it's just like this giant party that everyone gets around. So you'll get fans from, different clubs obviously all coming together, and you kind of see the random club shirt here or there, like amongst, the sea of like whatever color that country wears. But I love that how welcoming it is. And it seems like it's such a like, I don't know. It's like a warm environment compared to, club football, club like active support can be quite 100%. Hostile, right? Yeah. It's amazing. And I love that about it. It's so good.
I think that's the best part about like the World Cup or Euros or any other sort of, international. There's a lot of people that are against the international rounds. Like, oh, here we go. Oh, I want my Man United back. Again, one more thing I don't like is like the Twitter names where people use like a Man United player's face. And it's like, they're just diehard United fans. But they're like the worst kind, like the most toxic type of people.
Yeah.
But when it comes to international level, I feel like a lot of people just embrace the culture and be a part of it. So like, some World Cups, like I haven't actually been to a World Cup, but in Australia, when you go to like, Fed Square or anywhere, certain teams playing, you sort of become like with that group.
You do, yeah.
And I remember like, can't remember what, I think it was during the Euros, yeah. Like all the Macedonians in Australia all went to those games. I remember Davutovic was going to every nationality watching the Euros. But for me as a Macedonian Australian, like I fell in love with the fact that I can connect with other people.
Yeah, it was great.
And I remember that morning, sorry to bring this up, when Macedonia bet Italy for the World Cup qualification. It was so close, then of course Ronaldo had to ruin our party.
Yeah.
But walking down like the streets of Sydney in the city, the day after our pop-up, I was walking the streets with my Macedonian jersey. So proud being like... like wearing the red and yellow, and people were like, oh my God, this guy's... And I remember seeing Italians walk past me with their Italian jerseys. Yeah. And I was like, I ruined your day.
I think that's the hard part when you're, like we were saying about with Germans and, compared to like Italians and Greeks, there's so many of like, that particular nationality that you're going to do that. It's going to be the opposite in that situation. Yeah. You're going to be like, they're going to look at you and they're like, he's Macedonian.
But I think like trying to become like into sort of the curva, like the what do you call it? The being part of the ultras and the actives and stuff. Like it's sort of like identity. It's like, are you a diehard? Are you not? Like English football's a bit different. Like there's a bit behind the scenes type of thing. But international level, like you can literally just wear a jersey, go to the game. People are like, yeah, look at the sea of gold. Look at the sea of orange. Like when Netherlands play, are they in the World Cup this year? Like I can't wait to see the full orange stadium. You know, the French against Australia, you see green and gold and the blue. You know, against Tunisia, you see the red. Against Denmark, you'll see the red. And it's so amazing. That's the one thing I love about World Cups is people will wear that. And of course, you will get the club level jerseys where it's like, oh, he's a Ronaldo fan. He's wearing, United jersey.
But like, that's just going to happen. Like, it doesn't matter. It's still cool just to see that sea of colour anyway.
What's the one club you reckon everyone's going to wear at this World Cup?
Ooh, one club everyone's going to wear.
I know exactly one. That takes over 3 teams. They're like the stars of each team, each country.
City?
Nah. Because Haaland's not there, so they don't really cares about him.
True.
PSG. Neymar, Brazil. Yeah. Sorry, Neymar, Brazil. Yeah, Neymar, Brazil.
Yeah, you're right.
Mbappe, France. Yeah. And Argentina with Messi. That's going to be massive for them.
Yeah, wow. Okay, while we're on this topic of this World Cup, then, what are your predictions? Like, if you give me, who do you think's going to win?
It's a tough one, and there's no real like sort of competitive nature to this answer. I think it's like from just the bat of like.
It's a guess.
A guess.
Yeah.
Well, let's revisit this episode. So we'll mark it. I'll put a thing in my diary to revisit this episode. I reckon the grand final will be between. Jesus, that was awkward. I reckon, let's just say, people really want Argentina, Portugal.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. I honestly don't see it happening.
I think the way the groups are played out, it can.
It can.
Yeah.
But I think for me, the winners will be Argentina.
Yeah.
I just feel like Messi has got it in him this season. And I feel like everyone's going to be playing for him.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like there's going to be a bit of Maradona-esque sort of like Argentina's getting behind it and being like, this is our time to shine.
Yeah, okay.
You get me?
Yeah. So what? Because Argentina won 86, I think, right? From memory.
A while ago.
And then Maradona played 90. And then 94, he was... Oh, no, yeah, he played 94. He got a ban at, 95, I think, around then.
I just feel like this is going to be a massive one for Argentina.
Yeah, I to be honest, I have to agree with you. I think it's like the sentimental kind of winner, isn't it?
It will be.
Because
it's like a send-off to him.
Unless you hate Messi, I feel like most people are going to be like, you know what? If he wins it, goes out with a bang, that's...
Let's just say he has to win it, because if he doesn't win it, and neither him or Ronaldo make the final... It's going to be one of those World Cups where people don't really tune in after.
Yeah, okay.
But just think about it. For me, post-World Cup, PSG, Messi, done. Tick off World Cup, tick off the PSG, maybe potential Champions League run with them.
Yeah.
Goes to MLS, retires.
I wouldn't even go to MLS if I did that. If
I
won the World Cup, man, I'm done. See ya. Like
he'll get MLS.
He's had the best career. Going to the MLS will only make it worse.
Nah, I reckon he'll enjoy it.
Yeah, he might have fun, but it's just, I feel like it's just going to be a dampener. Like, finish on a high. You've played for amazing clubs. You've had an amazing career.
He won't become a coach. That's the thing.
No, of course not.
He's going to disappear.
I don't know. If I was him, I'd go back and play like club football.
He'll do a Mark Viduka.
Sunday League or own a cafe in Croatia.
He'll own a cafe in the middle of nowhere, Argentina.
He's going to have a little mate stand somewhere like outside of Newell's Old Boys.
Messi mates. What do you think? Who's going to win the World Cup?
I think my first, well, I want to say Argentina, but I think if I look at their squad, I don't think their squad's good enough. I think they'll be close. They'll be very close. I just don't think they're going to go the whole way. I reckon they're going to, they'll probably go semi. And I think everyone hung up on the fact that, Messi's running riot. I'm hopeful that happens, but I don't think they can go the entire way. I think England's ravaged, no chance. France is full of injuries at the moment. They can still pull it together.
That's actually a good topic. After you finish this, I'm going to talk to you.
Are we going to go dark horse as well after this question?
Yeah, let me get the group stage up here.
Because if the Euro was anything to go by, Spain should have won that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They were comfortably better than Italy in the semis. Italy were very lucky.
So what do you think?
If they can back it up, I think that they played amazing football too. And then you throw in the guy, like some of the Spanish players that are playing at like Real Madrid, Barcelona, like Pedri and so on.
Actually, you know what? Spain's got I reckon Spain's dark horse for me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So I think they're dark horse, but I still think they're going to win.
Because Spain will win the World Cup.
I think they might.
I don't know.
I can't see.
I think attacking-wise they're good. I just don't think defense-wise they're good.
It depends on, I guess who
they're not taking De Gea for me. That's a big no-no.
No, but there obviously is like the other three keepers are
I
still
know this
quite
morning
good.
at United.
It was funny how quickly that aged. It's like last week they had the man of the match performance. This week Klopp's 3 to Aston
Fucking
Villa.
Aston Villa. Oh my god, I hate Unai Emery. He's a great coach, but he pisses me off. I reckon Spain.
Yeah, okay, Spain dark horse. I might go Netherlands for dark horse.
Ooh, I was thinking that too.
I think they might be okay. I think they're similar sort of like, youthful squad, enough high profile players, like your Bergwijns and like Frenkie de Jong and stuff that can cause problems. Memphis as well. Memphis,
Yeah, he'll go.
how's he been going this season? I feel like I haven't seen him
He
pop
hasn't
up much.
played. He's been neglected.
Yeah, wow.
Who do you think is gonna like just do so bad? This is gonna be embarrassing.
So biggest flop. Ooh, who's
biggest
the biggest
flop?
flop?
Who's
for
the
World
biggest
Cup?
who's the biggest high last World Cup? I got one answer, but I reckon I'll get like Shondapon.
Biggest flop? I'm gonna say England. I think they got too many injuries now.
Yeah.
Reece James, Ben Chilwell, both of them out for the World Cup.
I still reckon they'll do well though. They're
yeah.
always like high performers in the sense of like energy.
Yeah, I just don't think the football they play is great.
They're going to
Historically hasn't been.
Yeah. Mine's Croatia.
Flop.
Yeah.
Too old.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of USA? Because you've got obviously the boys from Leeds.
Look, to be
You're talking
honest, I feel like-
Pulisic,
yeah, like,
Kenny.
there's so many good plays for them, but again, I feel like they're just not. There's no. For me, I don't know. I don't feel any connection culture-wise and culturally from that club, from that
Yeah.
country. Or where it's like they're always negative Nancy's. Like they
Yeah,
just
okay.
complain. So I feel like that team is going to outperform this World Cup, and I reckon next World Cup, which is going to be theirs,
Yeah.
is going to be massive for them. I feel like the next 4 years for them, I think Pulisic will be at his prime or finishing career, and he'll be leading like a whole group of youngsters.
Do you think they'll be better off after the World Cup they host, or do you think they'll be pumping?
I reckon
coming
next
up
World
into
Cup
it?
they'll be pumping it. They'll be seeing what Qatar's done with their money and their sort of Aspire Academy and everything. I reckon the next World Cup for them is going to be their big one. They want to be on home soil.
There's I got a fun fact here about Mexico, and I need to find it because it's very interesting.
I love how we research our topics in the episode. Oh, there was a topic I just thought about in my head and I totally forgot about it. We're just saying hello to people while we're filming an episode.
Mid podcast, just having a chat.
What was the topic I was going to say? I forgot now. Tell me this fun fact.
Oh, so I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know approximately. So Mexico in the last,
Oh, yes, that.
I think it's escaping the group stage. So they've got out of the group stage, I think, in every tournament that they've qualified for.
Yep.
I think that don't quote me on this. I know at least it's been in more recent history, but they've never gotten past the semi-final.
Jeez.
So I think that's really interesting to know. Like they don't seem like a powerhouse on the world stage, but they always seem to perform in the World Cup. So I think you mentioned a couple episodes back, Ochoa. Was it Ochoa, the keeper? Yeah.
Keeper. He always performs when it comes to the World Cup stage.
I love that he has so many doppelgangers.
Does he? Oh, he does. Yeah, he does.
He looks like Ted from How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone
what?
noticed that. If you check that doppelganger out, that's actually pretty impressive. Yeah, I don't know. I think they might be okay. I'm really keen to see how they go this World Cup.
So I was looking at the USA squad. They've got a pretty good stacked squad, but again, I feel like the next World Cup's going to be theirs. Like they got a lot of youngsters, like Joshua Sargent doing well at Norwich City. Then of course you got Timothy Weah, who kind of he could be a lot better than who he is, but he's playing at Lille, so that's pretty good. Yeah. You got Giovanni Reina, the son of the famous one. Of course he's playing at Dortmund, so he's doing well. You've got Pulisic. And then you've got Jordan Pefek, who's at Union Berlin. So you got these, amazing players playing around Europe. And I feel like the US are getting like great players in around the world. For example, Weston McKennie at Juventus.
Yep.
Then you've got Gianluca Busio, who's playing at Venezia. You got Brendan Aronson at Leeds. Malik Tillman at Rangers. Yunus Musa at Valencia. Leeds United's got Tyler Adams. And of course, the one more player was Sergio Dest at Milan. So they've got a pretty good stacked squad, but I just feel like the next World Cup is going to be theirs.
They're probably just a bit too green.
Say again?
They're a bit too green for this one.
I feel like they're still not gelled, so I feel like the next World Cup is USA's.
But you know what? That might be a good cause for a dark horse, really, because they could be young enough. Maybe they're not experienced to go the whole way, but maybe they might cause an upset. They could knock off a team that's experiencing some turmoil internally.
Well, look, their group is probably one of my favourite ones because it's got England, USA, Wales. All have history with the monarchy and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got Iran, who again has history with USA and England in the.
Wow.
So there's going to be a lot of conflict there.
Yeah. That's the police on horseback game.
Oh, geez, that's gonna be a weird group.
Wow.
One more topic before we go into the last bit. So, what do you think of all these injuries happening before the World Cup? Do you think it's just proven to you that's shit timing, or do you think there's a bit of a conspiracy where half these players?
100% conspiracy. 100% it's a conspiracy. Hey, you can't tell me like, all right, we're six.
So who so far is injured from the England squad? You said Chilwell and
Rhys James. I know off the top of my head. I don't think there's a conspiracy theories. I think theirs is pretty legit. Yeah. Well, I watched Chilwell pop his
Pogba not making the World Cup makes me laugh because of the whole Mbappe situation.
Yeah. I wonder if Kante's was a little bit not premeditated, but like, hey, we need him for the World Cup. Let's nurse him while we can.
Yeah.
And then they've realised his hamstring's a lot worse than what it actually was, and now he had to go under the knife and all that sort of stuff.
Because they still have a season after that to finish.
Yeah, correct.
So some of these clubs have got a lot of money into it. So they're like, either you go or we terminate your contract.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, there's a big degree of caution around injuries at the moment.
Yeah.
I think it's probably been that way for the last couple of weeks too. I think there's clubs that are, they're really treading lightly. And I don't know, there's always that sort of discrepancy between, the national team and the club and having, can the player go for a friendly or, there's always like, and now with Nations League, I think there's a little bit more respect around it.
Yeah.
But previously when it was like an international break and it was just a couple of friendly games, there was always that reluctancy for a club to go, or a player to go from, Europe to go through to South America because it's such a big, big change. I think it's definitely a very interesting space. What's your take on the whole injury thing?
Like even the Ronaldo situation at United, I feel like maybe he has actually not, had this conflict with Erik ten Hag. I feel like behind the scenes they may have an agreement where he's like, I want to play this World Cup. Don't let me get injured. After the World Cup, then let me play. So maybe the media is like, oh, they're having a bit of tussle, and they're playing their facade where it's like, we're going to be like a bit turmoil so you can get out of this scot-free in a sense.
Do you think there has to be some
Get
psychological...
your value up, people pay. Yeah,
look, for Ronaldo, like, because that's got to be a lot to deal with as well in itself. He's been copying the backlash, like,
he doesn't care. This guy's lived his whole life. His father died when he was a young kid. His mother raised him as a young guy. He's done so much to get to where he is. I feel like nothing hurts him in a sense. Like, he's got tough skin.
Yeah.
But then, that's the thing. Mental health is a big thing for anyone, no matter how high or how big or small in the sense of like the world you are. But I feel like for Ronaldo, he just wants to play this World Cup.
Yeah, and I can't. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anyone would have any questions.
If he was to get a shitty injury playing like FA Cup or like League Cup or something, that's it. He'll be so fuming. But the fact that he's got one more game left in the World Cup.
Yeah. See, I don't know, man. Like for me, I feel like you're sort of like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because you want to play yourself into form coming into the World Cup. You want to kind of peak. But again, the World Cup's a long tournament, right? So, you see a lot of teams that kind of, you might draw a game in the group stage and then they kind of grow as the tournament progresses. I think we saw that with the ability in the Euros.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know. I feel like, you can nurse him, but I don't think he's getting enough game time at United now to warrant that. Maybe it is cautious, but I think the mental aspect of it is like, you're not going into the World Cup with confidence. You're not, you're constantly fighting this battle, whether it's fake or not, right? Like you got this battle with the media where it's like, why aren't you playing? Why aren't you playing? I even fights with Ten Hag. Is there a problem in the dressing room? All this sort of thing, like,
they can fake.
Does he have an attitude? Yeah, I know they can fake. I completely understand, but I think it's just I feel like it's just a third party kind of thing that you don't have to deal with if you just play your cards right. And I feel like because of the way they've gone about it, it's Ronaldo too, right? Like no matter what happens, it's going to be number one on the talking points. So I don't know. I reckon it's a watch this space.
100%. Look, there's not certain like high profile players as of yet who have boycotted, because if it was a massive boycotting conspiracy, then you would have seen Messi and Ronaldo pull out from day one.
Yeah, of course.
But we've seen the Germans all have these shirts. We've seen all the teams that aren't a part of the World Cup have these shirts. So look, my personal views from the World Cup, I feel like the whole World Cup shouldn't have been at Qatar. I feel like it's just a bit of, with all the money laundering or everything, like the paying under the table, the whole FIFA scandal, Netflix, like this new series coming out, the show coming out soon. I don't know if you've seen that. It's going to prove to you how much the last two World Cups have been a money thing. Like Russia and Qatar, never. I think the boycotting and the messages and everything, let the players, let everyone have like free will, we can talk about it. But I just feel like, honestly, if football from this moves on, it's what we do after the World Cup that needs to be important.
Yeah,
like
of course.
I know we can take a stance now, but after this World Cup, we need to make it a lot more sort of understanding and open to the world where we like, okay, you're going to get this World Cup, you're going to have to follow these guidelines. You're going to have to give us progressions on, the situations, the pay of each, worker. But I feel like Qatar, what they've done, it's unforgivable, and they need to be sanctioned for all that sort of stuff. But I think we need to learn from that and, for the future.
Hasn't it almost gone the opposite way, though? Because now they're hosting the Asian Cup. no comment.
That's what I mean. Like that's where we haven't even started learning.
Yeah.
So it's like, when do we start? That's what I want to. I want sort of not the PFAs of the world.
Yeah. Maybe that was too far into the pipeline. Like, picking the Asian Cup host before all of this sort of had become to light. So coming into the World Cup, we always love to talk about the shirts that get released, and I think this year's World Cup's probably been one of the best as a collective, from a kit sense.
Mm-hmm.
What are your takes? Like, what do you think? Do you think what's your biggest hit? What's your favorite kit for the World Cup this year?
So, get the document. So there's a lot of good football shirts from this World Cup. I think it's probably one of the more modern approaches in the player spec version of a World Cup. I haven't really noticed the player and fan specs of any other World Cup, like, in the differences. And I think this World Cup has definitely opened the world to that side of the shirt game. We've got like player specs behind us from Germany and Japan.
Yep.
I think the best design, I think it's going to look amazing on the pitch. I feel like this is going to become a cult forever. I think 30 years from now, if the planet still exists and we haven't blown ourselves up and like into smithereens, or we haven't moved to Mars, I feel like this shirt here, the Belgium home shirt with the flames, sort of Japan-esque, will be the most amazing shirt. I just feel like it's got this culty color. It's got this beautiful red dominant. Players like De Bruyne having this performance, like some of the photos that will go viral. Like, if like Belgium, they had an amazing squad. I feel like they've sort of haven't really replenished youth players.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a new resurgence of Belgian players, but I feel like this kit, just for me, does it.
Yeah, I think it is. It's definitely a really cool kit. I was surprised to see them come out with something like this. I don't know, it didn't seem very Belgium-like.
Yeah.
They've been quite safe in the past.
That's Adidas this year. They've pushed the boundaries.
They have absolutely knocked out of the ballpark. I think I'm a big fan. Like, my pick of the bunch was the Mexico shirt, so it's also an Adidas shirt. And I think, look, to be honest, I could have picked possibly 4 of the Adidas kits. Like, I think you can go from like Japan home or away. You can go Mexico home or away.
Germany
home. As well. Wow, yeah. There's just heaps. I like what you mentioned about the player version thing. Like, this is, to be honest, I don't have too many player spec kits.
Modern.
Yeah. Older, yes, but it's very different now. And this is the first one I've worn in a long time, and I'm surprised and impressed at how comfortable it is. Actually,
how good is it?
It is. It's actually great.
That's why I'm in love with my Inter Milan shirt from last season. It feels good on you. Like, it actually feels like another garment on you rather than just like a piece of cloth.
Yeah, well, you know what? One thing I actually noticed when I put this on, and it happens a lot with football shirts, because they're like mass produced a lot of the time, and a lot of the time the build quality of the fan stuff isn't great.
Yeah.
But putting on the player version, I'm like, oh my god, I can't feel like a seam anywhere. It just sits nicely. I went up a size too, so I was like, it's somewhat oversized, which is like really comfortable. And the fact that it's getting warmer here in a player spec kit that breathes well, I'm like, this is good. I can get used to this.
Extra large in Nikes. That's large, yeah.
I've got a large. No, I'm traditionally medium, so I went up one size.
Yeah, I'm a traditional medium in Nike, but I have an extra large Nike, and it's amazing. It just fits perfectly.
Yeah, it's great. Very impressed.
Worst kit of the World Cup for me, and again, I'm going to go this straight into I'm going to go straight for blood.
Mm-hmm.
Qatar. The home shirt for Qatar. Like, their away shirt's nice. It's got a bit of a sandy vibe to it. But this one, I don't know. Apart from the sleeves, it's got a bit of detailing, the triangles.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so boring for a host World Cup. Like, could have done better.
Yeah, I think, look, to be honest, like, I know I said, I sort of like walked into this segment saying how good a lot of the kits were. And it's probably true. 32 teams, I reckon there's probably 26 decent kits.
Yeah.
Say maybe 20 decent, 6 crackers. But I reckon there's 6 absolute shockers. For me, I really think the Brazil away, that for me is
possibly.
Like it?
Oh,
it's one of the worst kits I think I've ever seen. That sleeve thing that looks like leopard print, gives me weird 80s porn vibes.
What's with you on the,
Yeah, I know, actually,
the
yeah.
mention of you?
It's
You
a lot
gotta
of
stop
porn
saying this. Your
references.
wife's gonna get really confused. Sorry, I just took a be real of you.
That's okay.
Yeah, go continue.
I actually just deleted that app this morning. I was really frustrated with it.
Why?
Oh, it's just the worst app. Anyway, don't get Be Real. It's shithouse. Unless they want to sponsor the show. Shithouse. Anyway, yeah, so I think Brazil probably the worst. Special mention goes out to Denmark. Political issues aside, kit's boring as.
Oh yeah. I said it to a friend of mine. He posted it, and then he's like, "Oh, this is amazing! Like, good work, Denmark, for this shirt." I'm like, "What do you mean, good work? If you want to complain about the World Cup, don't go to the World Cup. Just imagine a whole team not going. It's 31 teams.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Just do that. Don't wear a red shirt and then make sales from it.
It's like, oh, sorry guys, we've got to buy this
They're
week.
making profit from that shirt. All 3 shirts are gonna be selling.
You know what's interesting though? AEK do that. AEK?
Yeah.
Do the blackout kit, right? And it's like a limited.
Oh, the Swedish team. Yeah.
Yeah. They do the that 150th year,
Yeah.
and that was like a whole thing. It was amazing. The kit's wicked. I was lucky enough to have one actually recently, and like looking at that, the way that was displayed and everything was amazing. The white kit's not that different to this. Denmark's white kit isn't that different to this AEK shirt.
Just a template.
Correct, but it's amazing how in a black, epic, white and red, horrible. This is incredible. And then also actually a special mention to Canada while we're here. Unlucky for them, more so than anything else, but it is literally just a
White and red shirt.
Yes.
Unfortunate for them.
Lucky.
Wild Horses for me. I didn't know this, but Marathon, again, a massive South American manufacturer.
Yeah.
They're in the World Cup with Ecuador. Ecuador's away shirt looks amazing. Like looking at the detail, this is something like I'd love to see at a World Cup, and this is really good. But again, it reminds me of just the classic South American team in a World Cup, or like that sort of.
Yeah.
What's the middle of the Americans?
Central America.
Like Central America. When you watch
Caribbean.
Yeah, when you watch the USA play some World Cups and you see them against like those little smaller teams, Trinidad and Tobago and stuff. But this is amazing. It's got a nice sort of, I'd say Azteca, but then I look at their logo. Wow, that's beautiful. Ecuador's logo.
They've done very well with this.
Really
kit.
well.
Yeah. So if you're someone that likes to support like an obscure team and jump on the bandwagon with their kit, I reckon Ecuador's probably a good one to jump on.
Definitely, it's a really nice shirt.
Yeah.
Good detail. It's got a little flag on the side there. So what's your wild horse?
I think mine. So the one I wanted to talk about, and it's because they haven't. I don't think they've technically released their kit yet. Is Cameroon. They were with Lecoq.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I can't remember the name of the one that they've moved to. I think it was
1-1 or for 1.
Yeah, 1-1. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was 1-1. Yeah, so it's like kind of like a watch this space. I'm sure it has to be released by now, but
Next week.
Yeah,
Or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. So it could be one of those. What team was it? There was a team in one of the World Cups recently, or a cup recently, that didn't have kits sorted for the event.
This World Cup?
No, it wasn't the World Cup. It was something else. There was a team. We'll fact check this and we'll talk about it in a future episode. But there was a team that I think for budget reasons, I think it was Asian Cup, the most recent one. I think they had one shirt, or was it AFCON? I think it was AFCON. They had one set of shirts for the entire tournament, so it wasn't like disposable amounts of whatever you want. Change your shirt at halftime kind of thing.
Yeah, funny though. Like so many teams and clubs, they tell their players, do not give the shirts out.
Yeah.
Even though how much money they have, they just like don't give the shirts out.
It's interesting though. I think from a fan point of view, like it's we always talk about the parents getting it off their kids and selling them on eBay and stuff, but I think it's amazing. Like. Every player wants to do a shirt swap. May give it to a kid, make him happy. Like it's nice.
There was a moment at City recently where he gave it to a kid, Ballon Barisha, and I was like, "Wow, the kid actually
happy as."
Yeah,
I saw a City post yesterday. the Fornaroli and Tilio switch guy taped over the top of the name set, and then texted Julia.
I love football when they do that. That's amazing.
Crazy.
Not to go forever now because 9 o'clock and we both got lives to live.
Yes.
Quickly to mention the 2022 World Cup chart. So shirts manufacturers in this World Cup. So we've got 13 Nike, 7 Adidas, 6 Puma, and then individuals for 1 all New Balance, Hummel, Marathon. I'm not sure who Iran has, doesn't have the name. And then Kappa. Oh, Kappa's in the World Cup, sick. Overall, that's pretty good. What are your thoughts on the sort of manufacturer split? And what's the one missing manufacturer that you're sad that you're not seeing at the World Cup?
Ooh, I think we're missing Umbro, aren't we?
Yeah, Umbro's not there.
Umbro would be a nice one to have.
Well, what's one big one? Like Umbro's not that big these days. Yeah,
Well, I think Nike, Puma, Adidas are all there.
the top three current manufacturers.
Yeah, is there anyone that's not in there? That,
I'm trying to think.
off the top of your head, I don't think there's anyone massive.
Like, I feel like the next World Cup's going to change. You'll see a lot more like Castoro and all that.
Yeah, I think so. They're sort of
Surely
making a big
there's
move.
one manufacturer that's not part of it. That's not coming to our minds right now. Surely there's one. Adidas, Puma, Nike. Oh, wait. No, New Balance is there. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, New Balance got Costa Rica. And a
Costa
couple
Rica.
Actually, that Costa Rica kit's quite nice too.
Yeah, no, we got it here at Ultra. So if you're after the show, come to Ultra Football.
Yeah, big fan.
But that's pretty good. A split.
Yeah, so from a classic sense then, what about if you had to go for your favourite World Cup kit of all time, what would you hit?
Again, there's so many to choose from. Of course, like I love a lot of the the England France ones, but I think my favorite all-time World Cup kit, just because of how purely unique and original it was, is the '94 USA World Cup.
Yeah.
I feel like that for a home shirt away shirt, but like the hosting country, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect way to make a stance. Even the home shirt, the stripes. Perfect way to say this is us.
USA in the 90s, particularly through like the MLS and I know obviously MLS started late 90s, but through the national team as well, everything was so like not stereotypically, but like so traditionally American. So you look at this, like literally the stars, right? Like it's quite literally like a flag turning. It's like someone went, here's our flag. And this is a template. Let's just cut it out and just.
But that's what I say. Americans are so good at marketing and the understanding of media and promotion and ads.
Yeah.
This is the epitome of them understanding how to do the game correctly.
Yeah.
Like they know how to do the game. But like look at their World Cup kit now. It's like, what the fuck are you doing wrong? And like the next World Cup, if they don't make something as that, like the fact that they're hosting the World Cup like after 20 or so plus years. Surely you go out of the woodworks and create something amazing. But this World Cup kit for me, the '94 away shirt, even the home shirt, are by far the best shirts in a World Cup host team or in any World Cup team.
Especially when you see how Nike's done it for, like, say, England with their away shirt, the red one with the collar. That's a bit of a throwback. Australia with this one currently, it's got a bit of like elements of the Spew kit design. Like they've got that nostalgia piece there. It's just a matter of connecting to it, right? So if they don't go and match up those shirts to the exact, like surely there's, like take elements from it, but it's got to happen, surely, especially 100%. For a hosting World Cup.
What about you? What's your all-time favorite kit?
Oh, this was hard because I like so many. I think I'd have to go with Germany '94. Mm-hmm. That's that sort of like, I guess. Sorry?
The basket?
Yeah, is it a basket? Is that what it's called technically?
The one with like the scales?
Yeah, it looks like, the scales or feathers. Yeah. So it's a 94.
Basket.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Jürgen Klinsmann, Lothar Matthäus, and that's got
again, the peak Adidas. Adidas has a lot of good kits. I just realized that USA was the last Adidas kit until they went to Nike.
Yeah. No, good. USA '94, I think for kits is up there. Yeah, that has 100%. To be. So
even Italy had an amazing one.
Yeah. Oh, mate, that whole era was, I don't know, just different for kids. A lot of those Italy kits are actually manufactured in Melbourne.
Were they?
Yeah, the Diodora factories, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Some of them. There's one here, one Italy, and then another one, I think, Brazil.
I feel like '94 was the peak of just culture for that era.
Yeah, I think so.
Like the mixture of like cool disco vibes and the coming of the future, where people were like, "The future's gonna be amazing."
Technology is starting.
Technology. It's like all these like we're gonna have pump up kicks and
PC.
We're gonna just have an amazing like internet takeover and everything. And it's like and USA culture back then was probably like, like just passion, pride, and like all this like sort of massive sort of. Was it before after? When was the recession like that? Not the recession. Whatever they had, like a big global
financial crisis.
It's probably before that, but like I think people just had money.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about back then, but there's just something. Maybe it's because when we were kids, that's sort of like what we imagined life to be like, and now it just seems like a distant memory because things seem so like lifelike and realistic now, whereas everything seemed a bit more two-dimensional back then.
The slow-mo replay is my favorite.
Oh yeah, glitches.
It's like watching them go. It's like 2 frames per second. Let's finish off the episode. So we got trivia night this Wednesday. So hopefully this goes live tonight, Monday.
Yes.
Tickets are still on sale.
Yeah, they'll be on sale till Tuesday night. Okay. So if you are keen, make sure you get your tickets Tuesday night. You're wearing something. I think you're going to be on sale on the night.
Oh yeah. So I'm wearing my. I thought you were going to speak more about the trivia night. What's the prizes though?
Oh man, prizes. Okay, so we've got $200 Ultra Football voucher, $200 PFC Vintage voucher, $200 Paninka Food Store voucher. What else we got? There's another $200 worth of St. Ali coffee. Wow. There is Joey's Cannoli Coffee Pack, which is mad. Big fan of those actually. And then there's what else have we? I've blanked. There's a couple.
Prince signed by
Prince.
Yeah.
Don't
know which one yet, but I'll announce it soon.
Taken obviously by yours truly while he's at the World Cup as well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And there was one more. I think I blanked on whatever that last one was.
There's a few more.
But yeah, so there's about $1,000 worth of prizes that everyone in their team of 4 can split 4 ways. So it's great.
Are we having creative names for each team?
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be the first segment of the.
I think it's the first question we have to ask.
You
got 5 minutes on.
I want to do a bit of like is it like an AA meeting? Like I want someone to stand up like, "Hi, I'm so and so, and we are team blah blah blah."
Yeah, the captain. Done. I like that. That's good. So yeah, we've got trivia night, and then so my shirt here is the current. Let's make sure that. So this is the new talking shirt.
You got to do like you did last week. You do the squats and the the pirouettes. You're doing like the...
So this is the new talking shirt jersey 2.0, known as the away shirt, but the Love More shirt. I thought of a message for this one. The last one was Universal Romance. I really love that sort of connection and the shirts. There's been a lot of creative shirts lately with the massive connection to their slogan. So for me, Love More was a way of connecting to the the wider public. It was like love more life, love more football, love more you. So it was a bit more like we used the Clockwork Orange. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but for me it was like don't fall too far into the egotistical side of love of yourself, but also remember to love yourself because no one else will matter apart from yourself. So that was like the connection. The colors and the design was based on I think the 93-96 Umbro designs. Purely more connected to the Chelsea cause shirt. I hate the fact that I like the Chelsea shirt, but I love the colours. So it was based on that. I added the black just to sort of change it up. Not too much grey, but a subtle grey. Overall, I was really happy with it. And I wanted a white and black shirt because it suits any colour pants.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, any questions you have for it?
No, I liked the whole messaging thing around it too, because we live in such a day and age where, there's such an influence on your own mental health, social media, sort of setting the impression of what you need to be like. So I think that whole message around love more and making sure you do love yourself not to an egotistical degree, like you said, but, to making sure that you're kind of happy in your own skin.
100%.
And I love that whole message was, I think that hit home to a lot of people. And I feel like that's, that's why it's getting the attention that it deserves.
Like Concept Football did a nice little thing about it. And I was like, wow, you know what? You actually made it look a lot better. So shout out to Concept Football.
I actually did. I thought that was like an organised thing. I didn't realize. That's actually very nice of them.
I sent like a media kit to everyone just being like, hey, if you want to share it, here you go, whatever. Like, it means a lot that even if you just post it on your stories. And he did this full edit and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Impressive.
So again, I'm going to post this as a reel. So shout out to Concept Football. But again, the shirt is available at PFC Vintage.
Yes.
And shout out to the Insurgent Ballers guys. I know we had a bit of delays and stuff, but this is amazing and I'm looking forward to making more. There is rumours there's someone else making something with them, so I'm hoping that comes out soon.
Awesome.
So next 3 episodes. So Monday. 3 episodes. I'll be in Qatar.
Wow.
We'll do some late nights. I think it'll be, if you want to do mornings, it'll be I think midnight and you're 8 a.m.
Yeah,
I'll be 8 hours behind. So
we'll see what works because we've got to tie it into game times and stuff too as well with what you're doing. So
yeah. Oh no, I think most Mondays they're not playing. So yeah.
Okay. Good.
Done.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.